There we go. Now you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome to not Warhammer, to Wednesday at the bench with me, Foxx. Hello. I'm very warm. I'm very flustered because about 1,000 different things just went wrong right at the last minute, and I had to run around like a headless chicken. So hopefully you can see and hear me all okay. Yes, welcome, welcome. Now, normally it is, of course, me and Colin, or rather Fester and I, working on some project on a Baneblade. But Colin's just taken a week or two out just to have a bit of a rest and recuperate. He's fine, just taking a little bit of a break, which is fine. So I'm just keeping his seat warm for a week or two before we go back to it. So he'll be back and we'll crack on with the Baneblades when he comes back. But for now, we'll just do something else. I'll be building the Plagueburst Crawler from Games Workshop from the Warhammer 40,000s. I'm very out of breath because, like I say, I suddenly had to navigate my way around reinstalling my camera software because it decided to update and break, and getting everything set up, and having a toilet emergency, and Mama Wolf suddenly was running out of charge on her iPad, and I had to figure out a way to let her read it and charge it at the same time. Oh, everything went a bit wonky there. Anyway, yes, we are here. As always, this is a show for eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs, all of them, every single one. That's what they're there for. Hopefully you can all see and hear me okay now, by the way. I hope. Yes, it's a shot. Hang on, sip of water. There we go. Calm down, Fox. Calm down. Cool wet grass. Cool wet grass. I've not done a solo stream for so long, and I'm really out of practice at doing solos, so I do apologise. This will probably be absolutely awful. So yes, this is a stream for eModels.co.uk. Like I say, normally Fester and I work on the Baneblade, but for now, I'll just be doing this Plagueburst Crawler, purely because I had to go for something I've got in my stash that eModels have got in stock. And I can't build a T62 tank because, yeah, I'm not building that anytime soon. So it's going to be my Plagueburst Crawler, which is the only sort of GW kit they've got in that I've got in my stash, because most of my stash is Games Workshop. So I thought I'll get this done, and then it's something to do. So we'll be building this. It is the Death Guard Plagueburst Crawler. It is, of course, a Death Guard tank, which means it's got a demon engine, which means there's a demon inside it powering it, and it's all made of filth and horribleness and disease and rust. And when I paint this, it'll be a lot worse than that. Trust me, it'll be more filthy and dirty than that. So I'm going to just do a bit of quick assembly. It's probably just going to be this week. It's just me. It might be next week as well, but it's just something to do in the meantime to fill that gap. So yes, good evening everyone. If you are watching this, like I say, it's freemodels.co.uk. I've got the live chat in front of me here, you'll see here. So if you are watching this, please do come and join the live chat. If you're watching it embedded on Facebook or Twitter or somewhere else, click on the YouTube icon on the bottom right hand corner. That will take you to YouTube, where you can carry on watching and join the live chat, and we can hang out. If you want to catch my attention, you can do at eModels in the chat, and that will do, I think it's eModels UK. How is it? eModels, whatever the channel. I'm signed in as eModels, but yes, whatever the channel name is. In fact, no, don't, because this iPad is signed in as me. So if you want to catch my attention, do at Guru Foxx, GURUFOXX, at Guru Foxx, and that'll put my name in an orange box and I can see it. Or type in capital letters. If you want to, you can do a super chat by pressing the dollar symbol at the bottom of the chat window. That'll also put a big coloured box up. So I'm so out of practice with these solo streams. It's bigger water. I'm probably going to talk 10 to the dozen and just be rubbish. So I do apologise. I've probably got the camera far too close. So let's just adjust that to start with, shall we? Right, where's my magical focus tool? Hang on. Yeah, it's my focus tool. This is my magical focus tool and also screwdriver thing. Yep, should be around about right. So let's have a quick look at chat. We have in chat at the moment, we have Jeff, Candygram for Mongo. Jeff, the Earth is the shore of the cosmic ocean. Recently, we've waded a little way out, and the water seems inviting. That was terrible. Got a tickle in my throat, hang on. Carl Sagan broke my voice. So hello to you, Jeff. Big hugs to you. Paul Christopher says, evening, fellow models. Welcome to you, Paul. Atholzin says, evening, Jeff, and everyone who joins us. He's lurking as well as painting orcs. Hello, Athol. Kevin Stevens is in, and Paul Di Tommaso. Hello, and big hugs to both of you. Adam and Stephen Lloyd are both in. Adam and Stephen, welcome, big hugs. Dudley Scale Model Cars says hi. Hi to you, Dudley. And Shellard's in. Oh no, it's not Foxx on his own. Hashtag awkward. Yes, and the Bobbins, of course, is insane greetings. So welcome to all of you. I will do my best to read through the chat. I say apologies for the chaotic start. I've probably been talking really loud and really fast. I can't get this box out. Oh, hello. My little slidey box isn't coming out. Oh. Hello. What's going on here? Somehow they managed to glue the interior box to the exterior box. I don't quite know how they've managed to do that. Hang on. Yeah, I'm just gonna rip the box to pieces. Let's just do that, shall I? Wow, that's gone wrong. Somehow GW did actually glue the interior box to the exterior box. Well done, G-Dubs. Good show, lads. Dudley Scale Model says, how are you, folks? I am fine, thank you, my friend. I am very, very warm because it's very warm tonight. And I'm out of practice doing solo streams. So, yeah. So, let's get this on the go. Now, it's not going to be a complicated build, this, because it's only 2 screws. It's only a limited number of parts. The one thing about the Plagueburst Crawler is it's a very simple build, but it's tortuous because it's all got the spikies on it. These bits here. And I will end up piercing my own skin several times with the spikies. That's the downside of Chaos and Death Guard. Everything's spiky and the spikes really hurt. So, yeah. And there is an error in the instructions with the tracks as well. I need to remember that because there's a bit where the tracks are actually wrong. So, let us get the building on the go. I will, of course, ask how everyone is. What we're building. I will, of course, ask how you all are. Hope you're all having a good evening today. Oops, excuse me. Dudley says, I know the feeling Stoke is nice and warm, lol. Yes, that's where eModels are based, in Stoke. If you get a chance, pop in, say hi to them, buy lots of things, give them lots of money. They give you plastic in exchange for goods and services in exchange for money, usually plastic. Bring on the stability, says Bobbins. Yes, I will. But, yes, so what was I talking about? No idea. I've already lost my own plot. There you go. So we'll get this builded. It's not really complicated. It'll just be enough for like tonight, and if I have to do a stream next week as well, it'll be enough for that, I should think. But yes, the only other thing I've got in my stash that eModels have in stock is the Russian T62, and obviously I'm not going to build that. I was supposed to be filming that for eModels, funnily enough, about a year ago. But the less said about that, the better. No religion, no politics. We'll move on. Anyway, yes, I was asking you how you are. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. Don't forget, of course, bench and belly. What's on your bench? What are you building or making at the moment? Doesn't have to be a model, but this is an eModel show, and it's a model-making retailer, so anything crafty or model-making based. And what's in your belly? What have you had for your dinner? Or what are you going to have for your dinner? Do tell me in words in the chat, and I can read them out and think of your food. Tonight for dinner, Mama Wolf wanted Subway. And pretty much my wolf gets what she wants, so she has a nice Subway, and I had the Philly steak cheese, toasted Philly steak and cheese with peppers and onions and things. They're very nice, and some hash browns and some meatballs. Very, very nice. Anyway, let's crack on. I've done the usual thing of putting the camera right in the wrong place and too close, haven't I? Right. Let's sort this out. Right. We're going to be building here. That's where we're going to build, Fox. So what we'll do is we'll put the camera there and I'll build down here. Always the way it goes. Put it there. That way you get my head in shot every 5 seconds. Yeah, it's my focus tool. I'm sure it's in focus. Let's just double check. I'll do. Watch me now not work at that point in space at all. Wendy Hickson's in. Hi and hugs, everyone. Welcome to you, Wendy. Big hugs to you. Dudley says, I've not seen the new shop yet. The new shop isn't actually a new shop. It's not a customer-facing shop. It's just a warehouse place for them. The customer counter is still in the original industrial park setting. So the new shop's not for customers to go to. That's just like a warehouse for them. But it's very nice. I know what it used to be. Bobbins says, Bench 177 tank transporter, belly, chicken and bacon pasta thing. Ooh. Paul Christopher says, beef stew and dumplings, beef stew and dumplings. Coffee, having a night off from modelling, bit low on mojo. Yeah, that's the thing. If your mojo starts to wane, just stop. Just stop. There's no point in carrying on when you're not in the mood, because you'll just end up doing a grudge build and it doesn't come out well. Even more if you're painting. If you're painting and you're not in the mood, don't force it, because you will just end up doing a half-cut job. That's 53. I want 54. There will be lots of shots of sprue and cutting right now, because I'm just going to start getting bits off the sprues. Yeah, I was frantically looking through my stash, thinking, what can I do? I've got the Imperial Knight Canis Rex that I started to film for eModels. And I thought I could just carry on painting that tonight, but it's like, no, I started filming it. So I'm going to finish filming that at some point. There's no point in doing that, because that was a video series for eModels. So I do need to get that finished. 3 and 1 is what I need. And that's none of those parts. Excellent. 3 and 1. New 3 and 1. Part number 3 and part number 1. It's part number 3. So yes, I thought I could paint that, and I thought, no, I need to film that. I did a beautiful metallic finish on it, on the armor parts. And part number 1, which is the back end. Always start with the butt. And the thing is, going forward, of course, I'll be doing a lot of Warhammer or Games Workshop builds for eModels, because they can stock them now. There is a link, by the way, in the description under the video for this kit, if you want to pick up this kit. I will be the sort of the de facto Warhammery type builder for eModels, so it's a bit tricky that I haven't got lots of like tanks and things in my stash, and non-Warhammer stuff, so a bit tricky what I can build for them when I'm just streaming by myself. This will do nicely. And this was actually a present from my brother for Christmas. Bless him. Right, let us crack on. Is the shop going to be bigger soon, I hope, says Dudley. The shop itself, the shop is staying as it is in the industrial park. It's the little walk-in trade counter. The new premises is just a massive warehouse type. Well, it's not actually a warehouse, but it's being used as that. It just means that the guys can have a whole mess more stock than they ever could before, because the shop itself was just completely full. The previous, the normal, or the pre-existing store was just really small. So the counter was small, but the warehouse wasn't very big. But now it's massive, so they can start expanding the range of everything slowly but surely. I need a new blade. Start expanding their range slowly but surely. Let me get a blade. Where are my blades? Blades. Get your blades out. Get your blades out. Unfortunately, I've been working on a lot of metal miniatures, so my blade is just dull as. I may as well be using a piece of wood. I need my little pliers. Yeah. This is where everybody gets nervous now, because I have to switch a blade out. Yeah. But yes, the public counter will always be the same. That's staying as it is. But the new building is just massive, which means they can do a lot more with it. Basically, they can carry a lot more stuff. And slowly but surely, they're building up all their stock of everything. Because in the past, one of the problems they've had is, especially even things like Games Workshop stuff, they've wanted to carry all of it, but they've never had the space. Because if you ever went to the store and you saw the big cargo container outside, shipping container, that was like extra storage space because the warehouse was full to the brim. And they were hoping to take over the premises next door, but that never actually happened. And in the end, they were like, you know what, we'll just get this new place. There you go. So, good on them. Right, there we go. Kevin Stevens says, belly, pork chop, sauteed potatoes and beans, strawberries and clotted cream and beverage with coffee. Oh, clotted cream. That sounds very, very nice. Bench 124th, Scania R730. Yeah. Have I ever done Dungeons and Dragons? Asks Dudley's. Never played it. I've built a couple of D&D minis a long time ago. I've got a couple of D&D minis in my stash, and it amazed me they're about that big. Yes, so going back to Paul Christopher saying he's got his mojo's a bit off. Yeah, if your mojo ever does go off, just stop. Go and do something else. Myself personally, what I do is I've got an Xbox, so if my mojo is not there, I'll just go off and play on the Xbox for a bit, as long as it's not hot, and because if it's the middle of summer, I can't do that. But if mojo's ever low, just go and do something else. That's what my Xbox is for. Other people will have different things they like to do. For me, it's just Xbox. I enjoy doing that. My two hobbies, this and video games. But may as well combine them. My bench and belly, well, I told you what my belly was. It was Subway. Bench at the moment, obviously this. I have just finished. I have just completed my 1/8 scale Dodge Charger part work. It is currently sitting on a shelf just behind me. 8 kilograms that thing weighs. I put it on the shelf and the shelf going out. I've got to find it a proper home. So I've just finished that. It's 2 years worth of building. And I've got one last thing to do with it. I'll show you. One last thing I've got to do on it is I got myself some Dodo Juice Purple Haze, which is a car wax. Smell that. Oh, it smells nice. Dodo Juice make excellent car waxes. If you're a detailer, I used to be a detailer, so I'm used to using their products. So I got myself some car wax. I'm going to give it a proper coat of wax, just to make it super shiny. The paint job on it is not lacquered or anything. It's just like they primed and painted the metal, so it looks really nice, but it's not brilliant. It's not perfect. So I'll give it a coat of wax. It'll protect it and it'll make it a bit more shiny. So that's my task for tomorrow. At the minute, I'm basically trying to get all my part works done and completed and up to date. All the ones that I've got on the go, just so I can get back to doing my building and painting at the bench, because I've got the night to do for eModels, and I've got other stuff I need to get on with as well. So I need to get my part works up to date. I've got my Iron Man, I've got the Dodge that I've just finished. I've got my 1/3 scale Iron Man that I've got all the packs for, so I need to finish that in the next couple of days. The X-Wing, the 1/18 scale X-Wing that I never finished, and it's been about 1.5 years now, 2 years. So I've got about 3 packs of that to do. And then once they're done, all I've got left then is the GT40 and the DeLorean, which have only just started, so they'll carry on. But then I've got all my other backlog ones out of the way, so I can crack on with my painting and building. And like I say, I've got the Imperial Knight for these guys for eModels. I've got some other ones. I was in the middle of painting my Orc Megatrack. I need to finish that, and there's lots of things I want to build and paint and film, because a bit like Festa, I'm taking a break from the live streaming. Just in my case, it's just purely because real life is changing now, and live streaming is not as convenient for me as it used to be. The last couple of years, live streaming was it was a godsend in a way, especially with everybody being off and and lockdown and stuff. Live streaming was a way to just hang out with people because you couldn't go anywhere. And it was an easy and quick way to make content. But the way my life is at the minute, it's actually not really convenient at all anymore for me to do that. I can't easily commit to the time. I need a brush for my sanding. Where's my sanding brush? Sanding brush. I can't commit to a specific time as easily anymore, and I can't necessarily commit to a long stream. So it's a bit tricky. I'll still be doing these on the Wednesdays, and obviously the Monday show. And personally, Colin and myself are going to get back to doing the Friday streams, but that might be all I get a chance to do. So I'm getting back into filming painting guides and stuff like that. So that's my hope and plan. Yeah, or if I get the streams put to one side, I can get back on with the filming. So I've been busy filming all this week so far. There will be a Dodge Charger video coming up in the next day or two once I finish the editing. Cleese was like, I thought you were going to give us more videos. It's like, dude, I've spent 2 days building it and filming it. It takes a while to make these videos, you know. You don't just slap them together in 10 minutes, my friend. So that's what I've been doing anyway. I've got that charger finished. Next up is Iron Man. And I have to say, I have lost the mojo for Iron Man completely. I'm like, really? So, yeah. But never mind. Right, let's get these parts glued together. Leave that there. Have a look at chat in a second. So what do you guys do when your mojo falls over? It's a question we often get asked, and, you know, we often discuss it. But what do you guys do? Like I say, for me, it's Xbox. I mean, sometimes it's just, you know, zoning out and reading nonsense on the internet, and conspiracy theory stuff, and, you know, just for fun. I don't believe before you panic, I don't believe any of the conspiracy theories. I just like reading the accounts of simple people who believe all those rubbish things. But yes, anyway. Yeah, what do you do when your mojo goes? What's your trick? It's tricky in the summer when it's too hot to put the Xbox on there, because then I'm like, oh, what do I do now? I can't even have the computer on. If it gets really hot, I have to sit there reading the internet all down on an iPad, and it's terrible. Ever tried reading Kotaku or any kind of gaming Gorka group sites or anything like that? Oh, you're a gamer. Without ad blocker. Oh, not pleasant. Right, so we're building basically the hull at the moment. It needs to go that way. Yes. Yeah. A little bit of glue. Hopefully you can all see and hear me okay. I'm coming through all right. The one next to it is a garage or something, says Dudley. Yes, it is. The premises next door is a garage. There was hope that he was going to be retiring soon. They were going to take this premises, but he's not retired yet. So, and it never kind of happened. So, in the end, they just decided to go for different premises. And at the end of the day, if they'd done that, it would have been second premises, but eventually that would have filled up as well. The place they've got now is much bigger than that. So, yeah. Dominique Cuckoo is in, says, good evening, people. I will be there for 30, maybe 45 minutes. Dominique, welcome and big hugs to you, my friend. Looks like so far it looks like some kind of like space wheelchair or something. Somebody sits in there, a little space vehicle, doesn't it? Like there's one guy sitting in here, like the time machine or something. That's not what it's going to end up looking like. Now, next thing we have to do is attach that to the floor, which is part number 2. AMV 5x5 here. Fox says, I thought jolly good, thank you. 5x5. Right. I had a big mental breakdown in 2018, lost my mum in 2019, then lockdown came 2020. I hit rock bottom, says Dudley. Sorry to hear that, buddy. That sounds like you went from a load of bad stuff into even worse stuff, because everything was on fire for the last couple of years. So, yeah. We've all had a lot of us have had a few tough couple of years. I've had a bad few years, so not I'm going to go into it here, but you know, I've been through the middle a little bit the last couple of years. So, but it's just more just real life means it's not convenient for me now right now to do the streaming, because for streaming you have to be able to commit to a certain time and know that you'll be available at that time, because you have to book these things in advance. And you know. I have to say, I can't just say, I'm streaming in 10 minutes. It's not, I need to be able to say, I'm streaming tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So you guys know what's going on. So, and then I have to be able to guarantee that when that time comes, I'll still be available. And then I've got to commit to being able to sit there for however long, couple of hours or something. I may have to take a quick couple of minutes, step away in about an hour or so. We're not going to go for long tonight anyway. But you know, previously, you know, like I keep saying, you know, I must stop saying that. That live stream was great because I could just say, yeah, I'll be there at such and such a time, and I'll sit there for 3 hours and do a live stream. Now it's not something I can do as easily. So, whereas if I'm filming's easy because you just say, I'll film. I can sit here filming, and if I need to stop and go and do something else, then I can go and do it. I'm not. You know, beholden to being interrupted for any particular period of time, which is fantastic. Sanding noises. Wilson, Keppel and Betty in the house. Dudley says, yes, I know, I stream too. Haha, yeah. Still learning to dream and deal with my darkness, says Dudley. Yes, we all have, a lot of us have the black dog. This hobby does tend to attract people that have things to deal with and work through. I think it's just because it's relaxing and creative. Makes sense. But a lot of us have our black dogs. Right, there we go. Put that there. Now we need to use this to here. La, 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 la. Yeah, Fox, you can be on the building if you want to move. You can. Yes, absolutely. I just stop and do nothing, he says. Well, nothing wrong with that. But it'd be nice if you had something else as a fallback. I recommend you buy an Xbox. You can always, you can never go wrong buying an Xbox. Other consoles are available, but if you don't get an Xbox, you're doing it wrong. A few people have said to me, why don't I game on PC? The simple answer is I spend all day at the PC. If I'm filming, I'm at the PC because I'm sorting all the footage out and editing. If I'm not filming, I'm doing social media and stuff. Of course, model making guru is my job. And so basically, I'm at the computer all day. So my time away from work is getting away from the computer. So the last thing I want to do is sit at the computer I've been sat at all day. Oh, but I need to chill out with my Xbox and a cup of tea, a cup of coffee. I just said a cup of tea and I don't even drink tea. Now there is a dirty great big gap here in these two panels. You'll see when I glued them together. Hopefully you can see there. Dirty great big. It's not a dirty great big one. It's just a seam line, which you could very easily fill. But I'm going to very easily fill it by completely covering it up with something else, because I'm lazy and I can't be doing filling things. Filling things is nonsense. Now we need to get both track units off and get them set up and cleaned up. This won't take long at all, this build. So I shall take my time with it. So look, Stefan Last is in, says, good evening, Fox and everyone in the chat. Good evening, Stefan. Welcome to you. Dinner tonight was southern fried chicken steaks and Fox's favourite kind of chips, crinkle cuts with Liam Perrin sauce. Bench Orc Warband big box. Oh, yeah. Why is it right? I don't mind crinkle cut chips, right? But I don't understand why they taste different to other chips. If you eat normal, if you eat like fat chips or French fry chips or any kind of chips, be they frozen or from an actual potato or whatever they are, they have a certain taste. But when you get crinkle cut chips, they always taste different. They're always kind of really dry and crumbly, and I never understood that. I don't understand why they taste different. They have a different texture. It's very strange. Makes no sense at all, let's be honest. Makes no sense at all. Crinkle cut chips. I don't mind them, I'm just not a big fan of them. It's like I like garden peas, but I can't stand processed peas, big marifat peas, because big marifat peas have this horrible flavour and texture that's just horrible. Whereas garden peas, they're nice. Big heavy piece of plastic, that. Lots of lovely detail on here that once you built this thing, you'll never see again. I think it gets all hidden. I might have to get myself a standby kit that I can have on hand if I ever need to solo the Wednesday stream. What do I need? I need both of those and the front piece. Hello, my name is Herbert Frontpiece. It's like a face. Hello, hello. Yeah, not had enough coffee today, can you tell? Don't forget, of course, folks, I do have the chat in front of me, so please do ask me lots of questions and things, because heck knows I need stuff to talk about. If I just sit here talking to myself all night, it'll be tedious for you. Athol says, because they're sprinkled in veggie oils instead of beer dripping. Beer dripping? I've never had chips in beer dripping. That sounds great. It's like if you go and get like a pack of McCain, not McCain, you get a pack of like, oven, I'm talking about oven chips here, not like made from potato chips. If I get a bag of oven chips, I have a certain taste. If I get a bag of French fries, they have the same taste. If I get a bag of crinkle cuts, it's like comparing a red apple that's all powdery and dry tasting to a green apple that's all crunchy and sweet. It's just different, and I don't understand why. It's still a potato. It's just, they must do something with it to make it crinkle that also changes the flavour in some kind of heretical way. I used to hate, when I was a kid in the 70s, you know, like when you're, I don't know if you know this, like when you're a kid and you go around to your mate's house for dinner sometimes. Like it was always an amazing thing to me. I'd be around at my friend's house and we'd just lose track of time. And his mum would be like, I'm going to make the dinner Fox used to eat. She didn't say Fox, my name wasn't Fox at that point. But she'd be like, you know, are you going to stay for dinner? I'd be like, yeah, okay. And it was like, oh, I'm having dinner at somebody else's house. Because, of course, dinner's a very intimate family thing. And having dinner at someone else's house was like being in someone else's school, walking into your friend's school. I did that as well once. My mate had to go and pick something up for me. It was a different school to me, so secondary school. So I went in with him. And it's like, wow, I feel really weird because I'm in your school and I don't come to this school. I felt like an interloper. It's very strange. But yeah, so they always had crinkle cut chips, and I was always like, oh, really? Crinkle cut chips? Yes, it was ideal. It was not ideal. How are we looking? We're looking all right. But Fox, when you last clean out your oven as multi-flavours rub off on what is newest meal? When did I last clean out my oven? Nice weather we're having, rather clement for the time of year, I think. But I don't know what this cleaning of the oven is of which you speak. Is that something you're supposed to do? I don't know. I thought they were like woks. You just let the flavour build up all around the sides. And I'm doing this without my bums. I forgot to put my little mat down. The funny thing is, this little mat isn't meant to be used the way I use it. I use it as something to sand on top of, so it catches all the bits. But you're supposed to just like you're supposed to get your sanding sticks and wipe them off, but I actually use it just to catch all the dust. Because why not? Why not indeed? My dad got my first model and now I have a room for modelling and a shed for my kit, so I think I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, not at all. Not at all. So come on, kids, what else? What do the rest of you do when you lose your mojo? Like I said, I do Xbox. Dudley does nothing, apparently. What do the rest of you do when you want to take a break, but not for long? What is your mojo restorer? I mean, I normally find that if I go off and do something else, like play on the Xbox or just watch TV shows or something, if I do it, then after a little while, I'll get the itch. I'll get the, oh, I could just go and make X, Y, or Z. I'll start thinking about getting back to the bench, and that'll get me enthused about it again. Whereas if I just force myself to the bench, I'm just not going to enjoy the experience. Because you have to remember, this isn't a job. Well, it actually is a job for me, but for everybody else, for you guys out there, this isn't a job. It's a hobby. You're supposed to do it for fun. If it stops being fun, then you're doing it wrong. You just need to stop. And wait till your brain tells you that it's something it wants to do again. Because it's true of anything in life, not just hobbies. If you do anything constantly all the time, you fade and you wane and you have to just take a break. And apologies, I'm doing lots of sanding and it's probably really loud. I know. Do. I'm just going to check my mic volume as well because I forgot to check that. 1 second, kids. Yep. Just double checking. I got caught the other week on a live stream. My volume was low and I hadn't even noticed. Very annoying. Athos says loss of mojo for plastic kits is building Lego or cheap man's Lego kits from China. Nothing wrong with that. Nice simple builds. Dudley's looking at more models at the moment. I'm looking at the ones I'm going to sell. It'll be mostly one day. If you've got a big, massive stash, sometimes it's actually worth just going through and sacrificing some of them to the eBay gods. Because it distracts you for a bit. And it makes it look less unmanageable. Having a big, massive stash can be off-putting and disheartening for sometimes. You know, you want to be able to look at a shelf of stuff and go, right, which one am I going to build next? I finished the last one, what shall I go and build? But if you see like a European model kit mountain, an EU model kit mountain or something, an EEC, what used to have like it's the joke about the old like, you know, milk lakes and sugar mountains used to have in warehouses. If you've got a big mountain of kits, it's a bit overwhelming, and you might just go, you know what, I'm just going to step away quietly and hope it didn't see me. There you go. I've not come across any mould lines yet, which is great. Talking about my mould line. I will in a minute. There'll be mould lines I'll have to deal with. I also like Lego, says Christopher C. Welcome, Christopher C. Yeah, you can't get wrong with Lego. I do feel contractually obliged to point out that the plural of Lego is Lego. There's no S on Lego. I have to point that out. I'm contractually obliged at all times to point that out. Somebody would have said it in chat anyway if I had said it. Guaranteed. I also like the Metal Earth kits. Keeps me at the bench, but I don't have to worry about paint. I've never tried one of those Metal Earth kits. Not for the faint of heart or somebody that really can't stand photo etch, of course. I build 1/72 planes there now. I'm going to paint minis from Dungeons and Dragons. Cool. But what if your modeling mojo goes though, Dominique? What if you suddenly think, I can't be bothered making a model today? What do you do apart from modeling? When your mojo fades and you want to go and do something else for a bit, what is it you do? My bad, says Christopher. I'm only joking, buddy. You don't have to apologise. It's a life lesson. Right. I can still see the stress marks from the nub, but it's not actually sticking up. It won't be visible when it's primed and painted. Plus, I'm going to weather the crap out of this anyway. Don't forget, of course, I'm doing this show for eModels.co.uk. Hang on. Bigger water. eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for your model making needs. Do go and check out the shop. This kit, there's a link under the description for this kit, but they've got obviously billions of other kits available, not Warhammer. They are the country's largest stockists of Tamiya. They are the... what else are they? They are one of the country's largest remote control stockists as well, including Tamiya. They're also now involved in Ultimate Modelling Products. We have an association with Ultimate Modelling Products. Make sure you go and check out all those as well. And there's loads of stuff. Just go and have a look. Anything you can think of you might want, they've got it. And if you haven't got it, then don't panic. They'll have something else just as good. I guarantee you. I guarantee you, my friend. Kajit knows about these things. Okay, so that goes on there. May require some thickness of glue for this one, I think. Of course, it's a little bit load-bearing. Gentlemen, bear your loads. No, don't say that, Foxx. Now, this is the new Tamiya cement, which is slightly thinner than it used to be. But that's why you want the regular cement as well as the extra thin. If I just put extra thin on there, it'd stay in place. And in fact, it won't stay in place when I put the extra thin on it. No. Always have the full fat cement on hand, just in case you need to do a load bearing joint. Sorry, just clearing my throat there. And we need to attach this to the floor. Floors. If I get this built tonight, I'm going to be knackered next week, aren't I? This needs. How does this go together now? How does this go? Look at the instructions, Foxx. This goes. Okay, this is weird because you think it's that way, but that's the back. It's actually that way. Basically, a mobile mortar. This tank, effectively. Get some more fatness on there, I think. Yeah, if you watch me make figures, you'll notice that quite often I'll use the regular, what I call fat glue, to cement the arms on. Because, pay attention what we're doing. Because if you just blap a load of extra thin on there and try and stick an arm on, it's just going to go and slide off. Onto a figure, I mean. Obviously, if it's an arm, but kind of goes without saying, really, it's a figure. We'll do a little touch of the extra thin, just to go in there. Extra thin is it has a slightly better, stronger weld power than the regular cement, the fat cement. So it's always good to mix and match. Combine the two. You don't have to, but I like to combine them. Just because, you know, the thin glue has a more powerful welding ability. So it's always good to crack that out if you need to. Okay, now we have this one as well. Same again. A little bit around there. A little bit around there. Trying to be neat. Don't want to get glue splooging out everywhere. Do. Right, there we go. Oops, slipping. Roger, slipping now. I will give you 100. I will give you 10 internet points if you can give me a video game franchise for this quote. Open frag and clear on Zulu, Roger. Oh, Roger, moving now. I will give you 100 internet points if you can tell me the name of the character that says that. You probably won't get it. I'd be impressed if you did. Roger, moving now. It's not a Khajiit. I need to blow my nose. 1 second. Oh, just mute the microphone for a second. Wearing the glasses with the lenses on it pushes down on my nose and gives me the sniffles. Right, there we go. That's that bit built. Starting to look like a evil demon-powered hell device. That's the only thing that brings my mojo back, something I don't do often. There's Dominique. On the bench, says Wendy, 6 times Prion... Start again. Prionotheca coronata, radiant sun beetles. So nice. Oh, cool. I assume that means real, actual living beetles, not model beetles. I shall look up I can't get my word out. Prionotheca coronata, radiant sun beetle. Fraser Green's in says, hey, Foxx, welcome, Fraser. Big hugs to you. I buy special tools just to bend those tabs, says Christopher C. to Athol. Anyway, battery going to die, got to go, says Dudley. Thank you. Take care, Dudley Scale Models. Thank you for coming along. Appreciate the company. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Athol says, tiny tanks or miniature armor Foxx. Miniature armored Foxx. Wait, what? Tiny tanks or miniature armored Foxx. What? What is that what you do when your mojo goes? Tiny tanks? Right, that's that bit. What I shall do, before we do the next bit, I don't like that dirty great big gap there. Now, it does, unfortunately, also go up the middle of these exhausts, because these are exhausts on the back. So, we're going to have to do some work on these. And what we can do... Now, it is Chaos, and it is the Death Guard, so they are supposed to look a bit grungy anyway. I've left a dirty great nub on there like an absolute amateur. Terrible. What we can do is I can do some plastic carbon rivets on here. For the actual exhausts, I didn't do a good job of filling those in very well. So what we can do is, wonder if we can soften them up a little bit, the joints. I was hoping to do the squish effect, where you squish them together and get the glue to ooze out. Yeah, we can do that. So on the exhausts, I can glue and squeeze. And then we can sand that back later. The glue that squeeges out will actually fill the gap. There we go. So I can come back and do them later when they've actually fully dried out. That's the easy way to fix that. Always easy on cylinders and things to do that. Get some on the top as well. If you can do the glue and squeeze method, it's always a winner. Because it's very rare that I ever need to use filler or putty of any kind on a kit. A, because I'm really lazy and I really can't be bothered. I'll always try and find other ways to get the same result of filling a gap than actually having to do any work. As is most of the things in life, I'm not going to deny. So the little bead of glue that's come out, so when that's dried, I can sand that back and it'll be a nice, perfect, slightly decrepit exhaust pipe. Now for the strip down the middle, we can do the good plastic card thing. It's time for plastic card. Plastic card pieces, courtesy of Wendy Hickson. Thank you very much, Wendy. I will need some rivet. Rivet. This is where I have fun. Because I'm very lazy and I lock the camera. I am very, very lazy. And if I can avoid doing any kind of work at all, I can minimise the amount of effort it requires to do something, then I will do that. I need a ruler. There's my ruler. There's my ruler. So, it's a dirty grey Death Guard tank. It's got lots of rivets all over it. It's going to have lots of other rivets and panels. A strip of plastic here with some rivets on is not going to go amiss. A bit like that, but there. It's not going to go amiss, is it? Now, I don't have a decent pair of calipers to measure that distance. I'm going to wing it. I'm going to make it up as I go along. So let us do some making it up as we go along. I reckon I cut that much off. And a bit more. You cut in plastic card. Don't go straight down through the card straight away. Start with a gentle cut, just scoring the line. A couple of scores, and you're done. Right, so I reckon that far is about there. It's probably a bit too much, but we'll see. Too long, perhaps. Where's my tweezers? Yeah, my tweezers. Yeah. La 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 la. Ray Aquilina's in. Hello, my friend. I chat from hospital, guys. Oh no, Ray, what's going on? Hope you're all right, buddy. I hope it's just you've gone in for checkups or something, or something they're fixing. Big hugs to you, Ray. I like the fact you've got broadband in hospital. That's quite good. Big hugs to you, mate. I hope you're okay. Don't feel compelled to, discuss your medical problems on the internet, but you can if you wish. Right, there's a rivet right down there. Just hope that you're all right. So I'll get that in there. Ooh, get off, get off, get off. There we go, spot on. Spot on, that edge. That's lovely. It's almost, it's just about. It's just about the right size. Touch of glue under there. Tiniest amount, just to hold it down. Wiggle it just a little bit. Wiggle it just a little bit. I have to put a lot of glue down for plastic card. There we go, so that's in place. Give it a little, I'll throw the glue pop lid. Give it a little push down. You've got to be careful with plastic card because it's very easy to push it and put a dimple into it when you don't want a dimple. Don't push down vigorously on it because you end up just pushing it into the gap and you'll see it. Okay, so that's that there. We now need to do two little end pieces. End piece. My name is Herbert. End piece. So we need a bit about maybe that big. Let's have a guess. Let's see if this is the right size. Cutting it by eye, it's always the way to go. That's a bit too big. We also need a funky angle on it, don't we? Let's see if we can. I don't know if I'm doing this on camera. I hope I am. We need to cut a funky angle into it. I'm just going to completely judge it by eye. And get it stuck to the knife blade. Oh yes. Oh, you beauty. I even got the angles just about right as well. So we'll take that as a template. We shall cut some more, which is about... You know, you can sit there and measure things if you want, if you really want to be that boring. Or you could just wing it, which is much more fun. Live dangerously. Now this needs to be the other way around, doesn't it? So that's actually an easier thing to do. Let's put that bit of card on there. What can we? Hang on. That needs to be to the way. Needs to be a little bit at the top, like that. And a bit at the bottom. Like that. Might not be about the same on that one. A bit too big. Take a little bit more off. I hope you can see all this. Ah, ping. I can barely see it and I'm here. Probably still not enough. Yeah, I might have made a mess of the shape there. Let's try a different approach. Let's put this here. That. Let's cut that like that. And then that like that. I guess they should roughly be about the same size and shape now. Roughly. Except the other way around. Oops. Should be a mirror of the other one, really. Okay. Not quite. It's a bit too long, but what I'll do is I'll take the extra off. If I'm clever, I'll take the extra off the flat bit, not the angle bit, you idiot. I was trying to take it off the angle bit earlier. That's a stupid thing. That was a bit stupid, wasn't it, Fox? Yes, it was. No. That one's not such a perfect fit, that one. Yeah, that angle's too sharp. That one did not work as well. Let us try again. Not that way. Do this bit first. There we go. And then that bit. I'm just using the original piece as a template, see, so make sure it's the same rough shape and size. Wrong way around again. No, that's also the wrong way around. Shall we? Dee. It's hard to talk about anything when I'm doing fiddly things. I do apologise. But I enjoy doing this stuff. Fiddly things. Oops. Twiddly bits. I actually think that this piece isn't actually symmetrical because I've cut this piece to be exactly the same rough shape, exactly the same sort of shape as the other piece. And yet that angle is not quite the same. Well, it's near enough. It's near enough. Let's just get it on. Let's get it on. So we'll get that up there. Line it up. Roughly. I mean, I'm going to cover this in... I can always trim it in a minute if I need to. Line up roughly with the other one. I'm going to cover this in dirt and grime and dust and stuff, so it doesn't have to be 100% biblically accurate, I suppose. As long as it looks just about right. If it sticks out over the top a bit, I can trim it back. That's not a problem. There we go. So that's that one. On the other side, I'll put the glue on there first, actually. Now, it's got a little bit of a lip to it because I didn't trim it, so the mould line where the glue sticks out, so it was a bit wibbly-wobbly, that one. Sticking up over the edge a little bit because it was kind of hinging on the bead of glue, but that's fine. Now, this idea of filling in gaps with plastic card and rivets isn't something you can do on every single model kit, of course. If you're building a jet fighter or something, it's not really an option, but if you're building some big industrial, like, tank-looking thing or something like this, or fantasy stuff, or anything like that, it's always an option because you can just build it in so it matches everything else. Nobody will know. It looks brilliant. And you get brownie points. Just get a little bag of bits. Where's my plastic card bag? Oh, no. Oh. Never throw a plastic card away. Have a quick look at chat in a second. I've got to try and pick up all these little bits of plastic card. Hooray! Yeah, so if you're building something that's got this, any kind of like grungy industrial look like this, that's got lots of rivets and plates and stuff, you can have fun with it. You may as well. I could have just filled that in with some putty and stuff, but yeah, why not? Let's get some rivets on. I'll have a look at chat first, though. Anders Thorn says, this seems like a stream I could watch for hours and I was just about to go to bed. Well, there goes my sleep. Hey, Anders, welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Won't go for all night. Probably go for another hour or so, maybe. We're on every Wednesday. Normally it's myself and a chap called Fester. Building 3 models. And we are in the middle of building and painting some Bane blades. And then when we finish those, he'll start building other things and I'll stick to Warhammer stuff. But he's just taking a couple of weeks off at the minute, so it's just me tonight. Athos says, I hope it's nothing serious, Ray, as we'd miss you. Ray hasn't said how he's doing, but yeah, big hugs to you, Ray. Hope you're not doing too badly. Anders Thon, welcome. Yes, watch for hours. You'll be glad you did, says Jeff. And also says sorry to Ray. Let's get well soon. I love this sort of fiddly stuff. I was just fiddling around with some fly tying earlier today. Ooh, fly tying. That is fiddly stuff. Jeff says hi and hugs to Wendy, and also best regards to his insect menagerie. Jeff says, cool, fly tying. Fiddly fun stuff with the added danger of digit impalement. That's got to keep you alert. You can't have enough rivets, says Wendy. I can't because Wendy sent me loads of rivets. Some of these are from her fair hand. And both Colin and I now fully understand. Basically, we've told this story before, but not everybody's heard it. But basically, Wendy sent me a load of rivets. She has a rivet tool maker. Sent me a load of rivets. I was like, brilliant, thank you very much. And then some of them started running low, so I said, I'll pay you this time, but could you make me some more? And then Colin said, oh yes, can you make me some rivets as well, please? And Wendy's like, yeah, no problem, no problem. About 2 or 3 months go by. He says, tell you what, do you just want to buy the rivet tool instead? because I've not had a chance to get anything done yet. And we're like, yeah, of course, yeah, we'll buy one. So Colin bought the Hexanut one, and I bought the one that makes rivets. And we're just assuming, Wendy's just been busy and tied up. She's not had time to do anything for us. There's a rivet missing there. But then when we started doing our own rivets, we suddenly realised why we hadn't got a second delivery of rivets. Because when you make rivets, really soul destroying. That's a horrible rivet. It's really soul destroying. It's bad enough making them for yourself. But then when I started making, I was making some of these round nuts for Colin, because he's got the hex and I've got the round head. And we started making them, and it's like, dude, I'll show you in a second what I actually built, what I actually did. But I started doing them, and I says to Colin, dude, I'll show you. I sat there for about 2 hours, and I made some rivets started making rivets for Colin, and I made that many. There's hardly any in there. There's almost none, and that's like an hour's worth of work. And I said, Cole, I started making them, mate, and I lost the will to live. And he said, I started making some for you, and I also lost the will to live. So then we suddenly realised completely how come Wendy, the first time she sent me the rivets, was really awesome. When we asked for more, she would have been like, oh God, no. So we realised in the end, that's why she was like, you know what, guys, just buy the damn rivet machine, because I really don't want to make these rivets for you. And we're thinking, yeah, now we understand. Now we completely understand. So they're wonderful tools, but yeah, making them en masse. So at some point, I do need to send Colin a whole load of hex nuts, because he does a lot of orc stuff. And of course, he's got loads of use for hex nuts. And I do lots of imperial stuff, so I've got loads of use for like round nuts. But of course, he doesn't have the round nuts, and he might need them occasionally. So yeah. So thank you, Wendy, for your rivets. We understand now how much of a ball ache it was to make them for us. Yes. So there you go. That's dead simple fix. Dead simple fix. No effort at all. That looks like part of the tank now, and the primer's on there, and it's all weathered up. It'll look like one of those bits, maybe. I could use some smaller rivets, and actually done a double line of rivets, but I didn't want to get too many going on. So, and when the glue's fully dried around that joint in the exhaust pipe there, I'll go and just smooth that off a bit, and that'll look perfect. So there we go. Let's look at chat. You can't have enough rivets, says, well, we've done that one. I have to admit, talking of fly fishing, I never had any interest in fishing in my life, ever. And then I started watching that series on BBC One with Paul Whitehouse and Bob Thingy Mortimer, where they just go to a location each week, and it's like, you know what? I sat there thinking, I could actually quite happily go and do some fishing. Right, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Now, I know there is an issue with the tracks in this. I've got to be very careful when it comes to tracks. Unless they've redone the instructions, which is highly unlikely. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right. Just find the wheels. 14. What? Yeah, 14 to 19. We'll get some wheel words. We'll get some wheel action going on. We're going to work really hard, but shut up. You get what you pay for. How much you paying for this stream? Nothing. Therefore, that's what you get. You go. See, there's your quality level right there. I want neither of those two. I went too far. I wasn't paying attention. It's James's fault. That one. Well, that one. Oops. I've dropped a wheel. It's gone somewhere. It's gone between my legs. I'll never find it again. Let me find my wheel. Here. Hang on. You will not have it, Carpet Monster. You will not have... Oh, there it is. Good. Carpet Monster did not have it. Got to tell you, it's a choice of two hobbies where you spend a lot of time on your knees, and one of them's model making. 15, 16, 17. There we go. I don't actually understand that joke, and I just made it up. Never mind. 15, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. No, 19. There we go. Lovely. Okay. Watch them all be highly specific now, and I need to remember which one's which. Okay. That one's not looking like the others. One of these things is not like the other. Wait a minute. It guarantees that one of them... This one has less detail on the inside. But that could just be coincidence. Coincidence. Anyway. So these are going to go in here. 14. I'll just dry fit them, make sure they all fit nicely. Nicely. Cool. Road wheels. It's right, isn't it? Yes. Okay, cool beans. Let's get them cleaned up. Glad you're making your own rivets, Law. Reminds me I need to make some more as I've run out, says Wendy. Yeah. Well, absolutely. Like I say, absolute godsend. But I haven't had to make any more yet because I'm still going off the ones you made me. So the only ones I've made so far are that small number I've made for Colin, and I started making them and just gave up the will to live after about an hour. I'm like, oh, man. Because you think it's a case of... It's not a fast process at all. It takes longer than you think. It's not quite the speedy process you hope it is. No. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. But the thing is, since I've actually had rivets, like plastic rivets like that, I was first sent some rivets by my very good friend Kenneth in Australia. I've still got some of them here. And then I was sent some by Wendy. And up until that point, I'd never had any desire to like do any kind of scratch build or anything like that. I'd be always like, if I had to fill a gap, I'd try and squish it together with glue, or at the worst, I'd use some filler, or I'd just do something else to get out of it. And when I got some rivets, and I was building a Bane blade, and I had to scrape a gap away, squish some glue through, and sanded it back. And of course, I lost a load of rivets on the surface, so I was able to put the rivets back in. And then I suddenly thought about the gap, and I thought, well, why don't I make a little strip of plastic card, like a bracer, and then put rivets on it like it's been bolted into place or riveted into place. And it was like, oh, I'm enjoying this. And I filled loads of other little gaps, and then added loads of other little rivets and details. And ever so slowly, because I've never been one for doing any kind of like scratch building stuff. I've not got that talent, and I've never had an interest in it. But ever since doing that, making little bits of plastic card strips and rivets, it's grabbed me a little bit, a little tiny bit, to the point where, you know, now I'll happily, as my first port of call, I'll use plastic strips and rivets to hide things. Or when I'm doing a Bane blade, like you'll see me, the last show we did the week before last, I'll make a little brace, a little bracket that the spare wheel goes in, things like that. I'm limited kind of at the minute to like strips of plastic card and rivets. It's very simple. But, you know, I'm slowly getting my toe in the world of modding things. I even, I'll show you in case you haven't seen it, a couple of Mondays ago, Colin and I on our Monday show, which will now move to Friday, we started doing our Bluey Healer family four-wheel drive thing, where we're taking the Bluey car, the kid's toy, and customizing it. I'm making it into my actual car, and Colin's making it into an awesome thing. And I even did some sculpting. I've still got to clean it up. But hang on, I'll show you. If I can get it. I even did some green stuff sculpting. I made some hair. It looks stupid now because it's still just in raw green stuff. I've got to sand it a little bit, smooth it off, and I've got to paint it and prime it. But yes, I even made hair for a character. And that's quite good for me because I'm allergic to sculpting or making anything from scratch. So I'm quite proud of that. That's my proudest achievement ever. Well, maybe not ever, but I'm proud of it. Shut up. What? Shut up. Right. Now, are we going to be really anal about this and have all our wheels lined up? Yes, of course we are. Of course we are. I'll put these in first, really, because... In fact, no, I'm not. I'm deliberately not going to line them up at all. I'm going to not even check which way around they are. I'm just going to put them there and then trigger every single person with OCD and just alienate everybody in the world. Come on, it could be worse. I could have just one wheel out of alignment. But this is doing all of them. It's torture, isn't it? I know you hate it. You're like, oh, yeah, oh, heathen. I'm nothing if not able to annoy people deliberately for kicks. Right, that's some road wheels. Very slow processor, only does one rivet at a time, says Wendy. The thing I don't understand about that rivet thing is you've got the piece of card and the plastic strip, and you've got a little thing to lock the plastic strip down, and then you make your rivets. I just took that little lock off because you don't need to lock it down. You need to be able to move the card quickly. Fox, I noticed that Colin's got a Frolic up on Friday night. Is that still on, or has he just forgotten to take it down? It might go ahead, it might not. We don't know yet. We are going to get back to doing the Fridays, we think, at the moment. At first, Colin was just going to stop doing all live streams, but he's going to keep a few of them going. So we're hoping to still do the Friday Frolics, because that's like, it's not work. The Friday Frolic, it's a fun time for us. So my understanding is he's hoping to still do the Friday Frolics and the Sundays. So he might have that one just in case. Assume it's going ahead, and if it doesn't, he'll put a thing up saying if it's not. La 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 la. Right. What we'll do, I'll get the other road wheels done, and then we'll call it. It's only a short show tonight. I'm not planning on doing a long show, so I'll get these other wheels done, glued on, and then we'll call it a stream. And we need 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There we go. Yes, assume it's going ahead until told otherwise. He might have just put it up there on the off chance as a placeholder, just in case we decide to go for it. But if not, he'll let you know, don't worry. Ten, 9, 10. Me, not cut properly. 8, 9, 10, done. Oops. I think they could have got away with just doing 2 attachment points for these wheels. 11 and 12. Abadaboo, azabadabadaboo. And 13. I'm on season 8 now, Supernatural. Or is it season 7? Might be season 7. Could be season 8. I'm not sure now. If you're wondering why I mentioned that, Colin and I said to Colin a while ago that I started to watch Supernatural, and he's like, oh God, I hated it. I tried to get through the first season, couldn't make it. And I've explained to him that it's like, the first season is not great, but if you really slog through it, it gets golden after season 1. He's like, oh. And it's true. Season 1 is not got much going for it, but season 2 onwards. And I was watching one last night, and I thought, I'm on season 8 now. I was watching the last episode of season 7. I'm like, I've been watching this quite a while, because excuse me, I tend to like watch an episode while I'm eating my dinner, maybe another one in the night, and that's it. I was like, wow, I've been watching this for ages. It's giving me lots of stuff to watch. And I'm not even halfway through the entire run yet. I'm only on season 7 at the time. So I've got all this to watch again yet. It's great. I love it. I need Fan Home to do a part work of the car baby. 1/8 scale Black Impala part work. That'd be great with all the weapons in the boot. Now that'd be a part work I'd pay for. Or if Fan Home do it, I'd pay free. But yeah, that'd be a part work I'd want. Because my Dodge Charger looks great, but you know what'd be even better? Dirty great big Impala with all the weapons in the trunk. Just need to clear my throat. 1 second, folks. There we go. Apologies. Do. The Greenlight did a 1/18 scale die-cast Impala. And they did a few different versions. They had one where it's just the car. And that was about 85 quid. And then they had one 1/18 scale one where it was Dean and what's his face sat in the car. Now the figures weren't great on that. Figures aren't great, but yeah, they got Dean and Sam sat there in the car, and it's like, well, I could get the car and I could completely repaint the figures. Fortunately, they're out of print. You can still get the car on its own for like 85 quid or so. I found a place, I've seen one place that has them in stock. But if you go on eBay, you can pay like 500 quid for just the car. And it's like, really? Because it's out of print. But if you look around, you can find places where they've got one in stock and it's like 80 quid. It's not that, they're not that great. They're just dirty, great big die-cast cars. They're not brilliant. The doors don't open or anything. But I thought, no, I can get one of those with the figures and I can get them out and paint it. No, they're like $500 on eBay. It's like, no, I'm not paying stupid money like that. Come on now. So I checked out some videos. I was looking at them and I checked out some videos of them. And it's like, oh, they're not that great a quality, actually. Wait, the doors don't open? So I can't get to the interior to slightly, you know, give it some depth and weathering and stuff. Maybe not then. Maybe not. I mean, 1/18 is nice when you've just built a 1/8 scale Dodge Charger. 1/18 is not all that, really. Right, so these are going to go on here. Big nub on there I need to take off. Just double check that is correct. Yes. Yeah, that is correct. Let us do the gluing. Let's get on with the gluing. I do all this in one go. Probably not. No, I thought I might not. Oh, you communists. A few nubs on the wheels there on the inside that I need to clean up. I'll do that when these have dried a bit. Yeah, bird. Come down, you get back here, you. Flying off across the desk like a ne'er-do-well. How very dare you, sir. How very dare you. This is weird doing a solo stream. Don't feel right doing it without Cole. But we all need to take a rest every now and then. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely deserves it. Because I know people think that doing YouTube's easy and doing live streams and stuff is easy and what we're complaining about. But it's actually not. Ooh, excuse me. Sniffles. It's actually not. I mean, yeah, there's a lot harder things you can do in life, but doing streams and stuff, it's not actually that easy. It can be quite stressful. It's a lot of hard work. Graft. All right. It's looking reasonable. There's a little bit of a gap of a step there in the plastic, but that could just be interpreted as a step in a panel on the actual vehicle. So, you know, we might just leave that bit. I think that's that bit. It looks like a gumless. Imagine their teeth, like some kind of manga mouth. Like some kind of really, like some kind of like steampunk snail. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Weird, isn't it? Nom 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 nom. I'll stop doing that. Right, so what we'll do, we shall leave it there. Not done badly. So I don't want to do it all now in one go, one show, because I might be doing this again next week. I need something to do. So next week, we've got all the other wheels to do, the idle wheels and drive wheels, and then all the track stuff and all the fiddly bits of the spiky things that will cut my fingers to shreds. Gosh darn it. So, yeah, we'll have fun with those. Right, but that will do us for tonight. Only a quick show. Have a look. Supernatural is one of those rare shows that managed to keep the quality level up pretty much all the way through, though the way they could switch between laugh out loud comedy and horror is extraordinary. It is. It's like the first season is so awful because it's bland and it's monster of the week. But then after that first season, they find their characters and it just becomes, it's just great. Like, it's the interaction between them, between Sam and Dean, and, you know, between what they called Jared and what's his name? Jared Padalecki and the other guy's name I can't remember. And Misha Collins as Castiel. Oh, you gotta love Misha Collins. So awesome. Castiel is just so good. There's a bit we were watching last night where there's a guy sat in the back of the car and Castiel just looks at him and goes like this and goes, puts his finger in the nose and just goes, boop. It's dead slowly like, boop. I'm like, that's the best thing I've ever seen. Anyway, yes, we're going to leave it there. So thank you everyone for watching. Don't forget, of course, go to eModels.co.uk, your one-stop shop for all your model making needs. Do make sure to go and check out their entire stock and buy all of it because, you know, it keeps them in business if you buy all their stock. There is a link in the description below the video for this kit. Plus, they've got all the other Warhammer stuff there as well. They've had some new stuff come in, so go and check them out. And go and check out all the other stuff. As I said before, they are the UK's leading stockist of Tamiya and Tamiya RC. So make sure you go and check out all that good stuff, along with everything else. They also stock a good selection of bizarre and never heard of Eastern European brands, some other little unique kits that you never quite see models of. You know the kind of ones I mean. They're really good little things. But yes, go and check them out. Don't forget, I will not be back on Friday. That's the point. Because I'm not doing a game stream. I will be back, if not on Friday with Colin, then I'll be back on Monday for the eModel stream. I think it's an eModel stream on Monday for the group of us. And then hopefully either me or Colin or I will be back next Wednesday for more of this or more of our Baneblades. I'm in the process of editing my video for the Dodge Charger build, so that should be up in the next day or two. Then I'll be filming the Iron Man, getting that up, and then I'll be filming the X-Wing and getting that finished up. And then we get back to actual model making. I'll be working on getting my Orc Megatrack painted up. I'm halfway through filming it, so I'll get that finished. But until then, yes, go to eModels.co.uk. Check them out. Spend all your money. They like it when you do that. I will see you all soon. And until then, I shall say take care of yourselves. Go make something awesome. Go be awesome. You already are because you're here watching this. Hey. And until next time, I shall say adios, amoebas. Bye. Also, that fade was way too fast. I'll have to change that. Bye. See, it was almost instant. It was like bye. I'll have to change that. Let me just. Can I do it here? Hang on. Let's have a go. Let's try that, shall we? How do we like them apples? Let's try that. Hey, see, that's much better, isn't it? Much better. Yeah, right. Go on then. Bye.